back with another GCSS-A helpful video. Today we're on part 3 of our series on the Access Administrative with how to generate a substitution report. All right, so this is pretty simple, pretty easy. We're going to go over what the columns are, what they mean, what to look for, so forth. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let me share my screen and we'll jump into GCSS-A. So like everything else we've done so far, the T code we're in is ZAMW. All right, so the workbench. All right, so substitutions. All right, so when we do this, we're able to verify what substitutions we have for that current UIC or force element. All right, so to do this, you're going to go down to reporting, positions users, substitution report. All right, it's pretty easy here. All right, so there's a few things that you can do. All right, so to generate the substitution report, you only need to specify the unit, such as brigade, battalion, company, or individual force element. All right, so we're just going to use my HHD to pull this report. All right, so now here for the dates, it can be a little tricky. All right, so you can filter the report by substitution begin and end dates. However, the report default setting allows the report to display only those substitutions that are going to end on the current date, so as of 20 May. All right, so if you want to specify a certain date range, you can go ahead and you can put them right in there with date begin and the date end. All right, so from here, I'm just going to run it like this. And like I said, when this window pops up, I always hit the top. All right, so here is all of the substitutions that is currently for this unit. All right, so like I said, the substitution report is specific to this unit. So if you have multiple UICs, you're gonna have to run several reports. All right, so like I said, this is for my alpha. So before we actually get further down here, what all the substitution stuff means, so just to recap, okay, so your force element ID is your 8-digit ID that is associated with your UIC at the time that your unit was created or actually migrated into GCSS-Army. Of course, your abbreviation is, for units company level and above, it's going to give you your UIC. Your description is what unit you are. The personnel number is your unique number that is assigned to you in GCSS-Army. Of course, you got your user ID, which is the DoD ID. You're gonna have your last name, your first name, your position ID. All right, so your position ID, this is the position that coincides with the actual position description, whether it be property book, maintenance access, admin, etc. All right, so this is going to be your main position, and these are going to be the roles in the sub position that you currently in. All right, so when we look at sub position description, all right, so these are the roles that you are actually subbed into. All right, so keep that in mind. So if you look down here, this is just more information telling you when the substitution began, when it's scheduled to end, and the email address of the person, whether they're locked or not locked, and the last date they logged in. All right, so when we get down here, this is where it gets a little tricky. All right, so if you look at sub resign, okay, this is the relationship type. Okay, so if you've seen A there, that's going to indicate that position is assigned to substitute. All right, sub related. Okay, so the number 210 that you'll see there is going to represent the relationship that connects a position to a person assigned as a substitute. All right, so position to person. All right, and then from here is your subclass. Okay, so if you see a P, it's going to indicate that the substitution relationship connects to a person. A position to position substitution would be indicated by an S. So if it's position to position, it would be an S. Person to position would be a P. All right, hope that everyone understands that. So to avoid scrolling left and right and so forth, in case, back and forth, there's a few things you can do. You can actually click the binoculars. You can search for a specific word. If you're trying to, if you have a huge list, you can filter. You can also export this into a spreadsheet, which is pretty cool as well. All right, so if you do want to learn more, you're just going to highlight the row here. All right, you see that? and you can click the little details block. So you can do this for each individual person. Go ahead and do mine so I can share my info. Boom. All right, so all the information here is now listed this way. So to me, this is easier for me to read. It's a lot easier for me to read. Like I said, this gives you all the information here, right here. So keep that in mind. Like I said, you are able to print this and you are able to export this. All right, so it's good to review this. I review my substitutions every 30 days just to verify that they are still current, that they need to be, and that all the proper paperwork is actually on file for the substitution. All right, so anytime there's a substitution, the commander should be authorizing the substitution for a certain time frame. All right, so just keep that in mind. Like I said, this is pretty simple, just to verify what substitutions you have in your UIC and the duration of them. All right, so like I said, I hope this video was helpful. We're finishing up our reporting series on the Access Administrator. Then we're going to start going into how to create substitutions and so forth. Have a lot of videos getting ready to be shared with you guys. For example, the Access Administrator series. These are all the videos here that we will be going over. All right, so if you see something missing or something you want to learn, let me know. Leave the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, go Ordnance.